Yeah, sure. This is, well, first, thanks for everybody coming out to see the movie. This is something that I shot a few months ago I live in Los Angeles. I'm from here originally, but I live in Los Angeles now. And I shot it out kind of near Death Valley, out there in, I think it's the Mojave Desert. It's got John Hawkes, who I don't know if any of you guys recognize him. He was in Deadwood and a few other movies. He did a great job. I was really pleased with him. The director of photography I worked with on Swedish Auto, which I shot here a couple of years ago. Other than that, this is the first public screening of the movie. Just finished it up about a month or two ago. And I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know if anybody has any questions
let's have
for
a
me.
couple of questions, and then Lindsay, you can come up because we didn't open it up for questions. So,
Yes, come on up.
Derek, what's the life plan of a film like this? I mean, you do it and you show it here, and then what happens to the film? What happens, ideally, what would happen to you because of the film? And what's it all about?
Well, I've submitted it to a number of other festivals, and the hope would be to get it into a few festivals and have some people take a look at it. That's kind of just the ability to get people to see it, which is for a short film. That's kind of the only way that it's going to happen. You can, there are different DVD companies that will put together compilations of shorts, and so that's a possibility. The other thing is that this has a lot to do with the feature script that I've written. That has to do. It takes place actually. The feature takes place on the northern slope of Alaska. It's kind of a political thriller that has to do with the oil industry up there. And I made this as kind of a.
Governor too?
Pardon?
I'm
I'm going to give her a cameo if I can. Well, I was about to say something. I'm not going to say. So anyways, it was kind of like the hope would be that it's a little bit of a work sample. That this has a lot more in common with the feature that I'm trying to get off the ground than Swedish Auto did. And so it was just kind of an idea of a hope of bridging that gap, showing people that I can also do maybe a movie like this. It's kind of the idea.
Thank you.
For mine, the music at the end was, that's music that I heard live. There's a friend of mine who I actually met because I went and saw him play music in LA, and I thought his music was so great that I ended up going up afterwards. I was like, have you ever thought about scoring for film or whatever? And so I had that music as I was writing the thing. It was kind of in my mind, and I was playing it on set for people. Like I had it in my car. I parked the car, and people would come, and I'd get the actor in there and listen to the music and the DP or whatever, so they really kind of felt the tone that I wanted to have there at the end. Yeah, the music was, I think it's a fantastic piece of music, and I was lucky that we got into it.
Interesting. Other comments, questions? Yes.
I guess I just wanted to ask Derek how you got your start in filmmaking. Coming from Charlottesville and moving out to LA.
I got my start, I made a short film, what initially kind of started it off, I guess. I made a short film when I was living in San Francisco with friends and stuff. I wrote a short film with some friends. My sister Ashley helped out a lot on that. She's in the back. My friend Josh Rogers right there was a boom operator one day on that film. At that point, I figured out that I needed to learn something about filmmaking because I didn't really at that stage. And so then I went to film school for a year, this kind of short, condensed film program thing. And then I worked on The New World that shot in Virginia, and then made my way out to LA. And I just kind of made a lot of short films, and that's about how it got started, just kind of, I guess, organically.
Yeah, the killer in the movie, what do you think happens to him after the dawn comes? Do you think he survives the night?
I don't have much hope for him.
Nor do we.
Yeah. It's funny, in the script I actually had it that he kills himself, but I kind of like the idea of leaving it this way where we don't really know exactly what happens, but we have an idea of where he stands,
Yeah,
and just left it at that.
that's the sequel.
That's right. Wasteland too.
Well,
I was an intern, unpaid intern, and I did mindless things. I mostly made runs to Home Depot and stuff like that, and then I finally figured out.
Where was it filming then?
Oh, sorry, it was in Williamsburg,
Okay.
and I worked on it for 2 or 3 months. But after a while, I figured out that I wasn't getting on set and I wasn't getting to see anything, so I signed up to be an extra. So I did that for 2 or 3 weeks, which was really the icing. That was the best part of it. I got to actually go out there and stand around. If anybody's ever interested in filmmaking, it's the best thing you can do because you don't have any responsibilities. You're just standing there and you can just watch. Yeah, and no one expects anything of you. Because when you're an intern, they just yell at you.
You didn't get any money for that?
No, no, I did, and I got paid as
That's
an
an
extra.
extra.
So yeah, there are a lot of reasons to be an extra.
The perfect
Not
job.
many to be an intern. Yeah.
Other questions, comments? Yes.
I'll just make a comment. I thought for, I don't know, it was 10 or 15 minutes, it's a really tight gem of a movie. I think for 10 or 15 minutes, you just have, 8 minutes, you get a little slice of this guy's life and everything that had to lead up to it and obviously followed. It was wonderful.
Thanks very much.
But
That is the tough thing with short films. You don't have much time.
It doesn't
to
seem
establish
rushed.
them. It's hard with a feature film. It's all kind of, yeah. I think I've learned to be more efficient in storytelling and just using, one little bit here and one little bit there to, indicate as much as possible. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Have you shown it to any Native Americans or talked to them during the process of it or anything?
The only guy is that guy Black Wolf who was in the movie, and he thought it was awesome, all caps. And
Get it in writing.
pardon?
Get it in writing.
I do. I have the email. Yeah. So that's it, though. I'd be interested to hear what people think. But he's a Native American and active, in Native American communities and stuff.
You have an
And
email
he
address
enjoyed
you want to give people so they can write to you?
it. Derek Sieg at Yahoo.
Did you have any connection with the Pamunkey or the Mattaponi Indians here who, have pretty much, turned down the opportunity to have
Oh.
casinos?
No.
I was wondering if that was your inspiration.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I had read about some things, but I was reading mostly about California tribes, which there are a gazillion. They're a lot now fragmented all around, but yeah, that's played out over, in a few places out there too. So, yeah. Josh?
How did you find that exact location with all the trailers? Were they all there?
Yeah, that was all just exactly as it was. I just drove around out in the desert for 3 or 4 days, leaving notes in people's mailboxes because I didn't want to go up to anybody's house because it's scary out there. They're just really ready to get shot. Everyone feels like they're off the grid and they really don't want you to show up at all. So I just went around and I left letters in people's mailboxes, and this one guy called me back, Bud Cassidy, who I thanked at the end of the film. He's a 75-year-old gold miner that lives out there by himself, no electricity, totally off the grid, and he's the nicest guy in the world, just the greatest guy. And he was so happy to have people out there. He's doesn't have any kids, doesn't really have any family, and he's just out there mining for gold. Which I guess is a boom industry right now. So maybe he'll
And
have
also,
some luck.
follow-up question, do you have a boom operator?
Not as professional as yours.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was obvious. Yeah.